Hello.
Okay. Howdy.
So, if everything went well, we should be online. Well, everyone should see us in a few seconds. Just going to make sure that we actually are.
We are. I just got into the stream on my phone.
All right.
And everything's working too.
Sorry?
I said, are we on the internet?
Yeah. All right. Welcome, everyone. So, welcome to our third episode. It's sort of a weird feeling to be already at a third episode. So, for those who might be joining us for the first time, welcome among us. If you want to watch the other two episodes, I believe there's still one on Twitch. Otherwise, there is the YouTube link inside one of the panels below the window that you can watch all 2 episodes and this one very soon. So we're gonna jump right in right away. Is everything good? Is everyone? Yep. All right. Audience, yep. Just good. Say something so we. All right.
Yes.
Could you get your microphone just a little closer?
Absolutely.
All right. So, during the last episode, our intrepid adventurers survived a fight with, let's say, overwhelming odds. A few mistakes were made. Fortunately, a few lucky rolls made up for those mistakes. And I will admit I did make 1 or 2 mistakes in interpreting some of the rules. I've checked them since, and hopefully it won't happen again. I'm very sorry. So, during the last episode, party survived the fight and had a strange dream relating to the letter and the coin they received. We left our adventurers as they were waking up, finding that their Nafthan friend was still with them, keeping guard. And for those who wants to know what an Nafthan is, well, it's sort of a hybrid between a moth and a dragonborn. If you want to have more details, I did put a longer description on my Patreon, so you can always go there. Trevor, are you all right? Felt like something happened. Something bad happened.
Yeah, the mount for my camera actually just broke, but I got another one here. So go turn off the camera for just a little bit. I will be back.
All right. So, like as I said, for those who want more detail on the Nafthan, you can go on my Patreon and you're going to find all the information there. It is always free for everyone because it's more fun like this and because, well, I have to. If you read the Patreon, you'll know why.
Hey.
Hello. So, we're just going to wait a few moments for our wizard to fix his camera. Well, meanwhile, we can start maybe a little bit with the 3 others. Valtteri, as you wake up,
yes.
Is there anything you would like to do? Because if I remember correctly, last time I did say that you all woke up, you saw your Nafthan friend there, and this is when we ended. Is there anything you'd like to do as you wake up?
I'll greet the Afton, and then I will change my spells.
So you immediately start praying.
Well, it will take some time.
Yeah, no,
No,
sure.
recharge,
I'm just saying this because when you're a priest, paladin, or a druid, changing your spells involves praying for
Yeah.
it. So you
Yeah.
basically just say, "Hi, everyone," then plop down
I,
in
I,
meditative position and start praying.
I guess I
Oh,
can
wow.
also say that I quickly go pray and change my spells for the day.
You don't have to say it. I'm
I,
just making sure that it's clear for those viewing also.
but yes, I'll go pray now.
So Trevor, what you miss is Valtteri just woke up, said hi to everyone, and just sat down, started praying to change her spells.
Yeah, I could hear it while I was
Okay.
awake.
Audience, anything you'd like to do as you wake up?
Oh, I'm gonna stretch. Oh, yeah. Open up their shoulder blades after a long fight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look around towards everyone. I'm gonna be like, "You won't believe this crazy dream I just had." And I'm not a big dreamer normally. I think it was a vision from the dragons. I'll kind of turn towards Tobiyashi because he seems the most invested in what I have to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trevor would just like instantly wake up. He's gonna rummage through his bag, pull out his journal, and just start documenting his dream there without even saying anything. So you just see him just feverishly writing in his journal. He's still hearing what's going on, but
Okay, so Tobiyashi, as you wake up, you see Valtteri starting to pray, Trevor starting to write in his journal, and then the audience says this and looks at you.
Wait, what kind of dream did you have again?
Oh, he didn't say. He just said he had a very interesting dream that probably came from the dragons.
Oh, well, can you describe your dream?
Yeah, I seemed to be in some kind of grove. There were lots of people around me. I think it must have been a gathering of my followers that I'd put together. And then I was drawn towards this door, and it opened. And there seemed to be something inside drawing me. But when I went to see it, I woke up.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty interesting. How is that any indication that it was from the dragons?
I mean, I'm not normally a big dreamer, so this has to have been some kind of omen or something from them telling me perhaps that the path I'm on is the correct one.
You did feel as you wake up that the dream was related to the coin you received.
Okay.
Did any of you have any crazy dreams?
Not that I could remember.
Trevor's still writing and sketching what he saw in his dream there, so in his journal. So yeah, he's still busy.
You can challenge this audience, you know.
What do you mean challenge?
Well,
Well, he said he
Insight check
doesn't
to see if
remember
he's
any
telling the
dreams.
truth.
You can always try to see if he's telling the truth.
Why would I?
All
I
right.
trust him.
All right, just saying.
I'm just still praying, so.
Valtteri is deep in meditation, praying to.
Hopefully the
Earth.
dragons.
Well,
King Earth.
actually, okay. Well, this is interesting. So,
Earth.
I'm gonna come back to you, Valtteri, in one moment.
Yes.
Trevor. So, do you hear this from the corner of your ear as you are writing this dream? And you do see some elements resembling what you dreamt of. Do you react to this or not?
He will once he finishes. After I'd say probably about 5 or 10 minutes of jotting that down. After hearing them. Back.
Okay, so if we get 5 to 10 minutes, then I'm gonna go straight to Valtteri.
Hello.
Hello. As you are praying, for a moment, the world around you vanishes. You're sort of half used to this because you can put yourself in a fairly deep meditative state for your prayers, but never as much as this. And there is something you realize as you fall into this state, is that you seem to be back during the night. The light around you is almost completely faded. But there is light coming from up above. You look up.
Mm-hmm.
So as you look up in the sky, you notice it is night, but there are no stars. Only the two moons above your head, Rune and Das. But strangely enough, Das isn't smaller than Rune. They're both of the same size. Both in the skies. One beside the other. It sort of feels like you're looking at the sky staring at you.
Okay. Do I feel something changing with me?
Well, not changing, but you do feel something prowling about. You don't feel threatened by this, but it is a bit odd. Something getting closer. As if hunting, but not hunting to hurt you.
Nah. I look around to see if I can spot anything else, or is it just black everywhere except the moons?
It is night. It is pitch black night. So you do see shadows around you, as moons usually do give off quite a bit of light. So you see some shadows, details, and you realize you're not in the clearing that you were. You're in a plain, and the forest is just behind you.
Okay.
You feel something as you again gaze at the moons, as if they were looking intently at you. Slowly, you start to feel nature all around you emits its own energy, its own feeling. You start feeling all of the small animals around you moving about, and you start feeling those two large animals. Feels a bit like wolves in the way they move, in the way they stalk you. But again, you don't feel threatened by this. But you don't see them. You know they're probably behind you, though. Not far behind.
I'll look behind me.
You look behind you and you see two wolves. One white, one black. Each of them is watching you. And it feels like they're here for you.
I'll stretch out my hand, but I will not move, and stretch out my hand a little to see if they come closer and try to touch them, pet them. Yeah.
They both get closer to you, and you realize just how big they are. They are roughly your size. And they do come, they smell your hand, and you feel this breeze coming from all around you, wrapping itself around you, and it feels like nature itself says, those are our gift. And as you feel that, as you hear that inside you, you see the two wolves dematerialize and absorbs in you.
I'll look around me and then up to the moons and thank them.
As you thank them, you see the two moons going back to their normal size. And the world around you slowly starts to come back again. And you apparently have been meditating for a few minutes because you have your spells, but also you feel this newfound energy, newfound talents.
Yes.
For those watching, it is because druids enter their circle at level 2, and the party has leveled up during the intermission. So this is a homebrewed class, so forgive us if there are some changes as we go. It is similar to the Circle of the Moon, but a little more restraint in what can be done, but also has stronger advantages on what is still available. You'll probably get to see more as the adventure continues, hopefully.
If I don't die.
Yes. So you've just gained your wild shape.
Yes. Finally.
Now, by that time, Trevor, you've just finished writing down everything you saw in your dreams. And you sort of hear from on the corner of your ears Valtteri come out of her meditation with a... But, you know, maybe it happens with her. You don't know.
It's whatever.
Yeah. Quick question, because I don't remember from last session. Did we actually see the item in our dream? Or I can't remember.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I'm leaving the description up to you. I don't
Yeah.
mind you sharing the description of the dream, but nothing else than the description.
Okay. All right. He'll just, after Johnny and I let down, close his book and just look back over, says, so you've seen, say, sounds similar to what I had, which I was just documenting in my journal here. Are there any specific things you've seen, or just being drawn to something?
I woke up before I could make out my the thing that was drawing me clearly, but I don't know if it was, you know. So no, nothing specific. I do not think.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I've been looking for a purpose since graduating the school, and this felt like my purpose. It seemed to be watching me of sorts, you know. I'm not sure, so I definitely want to see what exactly this is. So, very well. Did you two have a similar dream? Looking to Toby and Valtteri.
As he asked that, I go to the napkin and I ask him, so you've been up all night, right?
Yes.
Have you seen any sign of the caravans, the people coming to help us with this?
They should be around very soon. I did receive a communication from them. They should arrive within the hour. As a matter of fact, and he reaches on his belt and he takes a fairly large bag and says, I believe this is your share of what was killed.
Okay, I grab it and then I'm gonna turn around and bring it to the group. Um, wait, just my share or is it everyone's share?
Your party share.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. So, yeah, I turn around and I go, "Hey, look, everybody! This is our spoils for this quest."
So inside the bag there is essentially what you
Dropping
should have
everything.
found, and I didn't realize that I should have included it in when you said you were looking around. It is basically the equipment on the kobolds, which resume to 36 daggers, most of which are very damaged, but some of them are actually in fairly good shape. Similar amount of slings, again, most of them being damaged or being made of really poor leather, and 136 sling bullets.
Dang, they're ready. And okay. Well, I say we split this 3 ways, and yeah.
Those
Keep
are
dropping
puny
everything, sorry.
weapons. I have no need of them. You may take my share.
He did say 3 ways. He didn't say 4 ways.
I already knew you weren't gonna want it. I felt it.
I could use some extra daggers.
Okay. Take as many as you need. All I want are some of the sling bullets.
Okay.
Take about 15.
Well, you can
look.
divide this among yourselves as you wish.
Okay. Trevor, you want in on this? What do you want?
Yeah, I don't really have use for the weapons, but I'm sure they have a monetary value to them.
Yes.
So yeah, my
As
share.
I've said, they're crude weapons. They were made by kobolds, but a few of them are actually decent daggers, probably stolen from poor villagers who were unfortunately probably killed as they raided something earlier during the week or something like that.
I'll take some of the decent ones.
So there are 7 daggers in the hole that will fetch a normal price for a dagger. Everything else will be half price.
Then I will take 4 of the full price daggers.
I'll take most of the low end daggers. I don't really care. I'm just grabbing them. I'll put them in my bag.
All right. Well, if Valtteri takes, you said 4 daggers,
Yes, 4 of 7.
4 of the good ones. Trevor, do you take any of the good ones, or do you separate good and bad?
Well, I'll take whatever's left over, because I imagine while they're divvying that up, I'll be preparing my spells.
So
after
it's-
that. So yeah.
So
Grab a. No, I won't grab it like that. Okay. I'll carefully pick up about like 6 of them, just randomly, not caring which kind they are.
Okay.
I'll also look around a little bit, like, because they all asked, like, and we're talking about the dreams they had.
Just for Tobiyashi, 2 of them are good daggers. The other ones that you take are the crude ones.
Okay.
So I guess this means Trevor gets everything else.
Yeah. Other than
I think
50
I think
slings,
there.
I want.
I think you said there were 7, so that leaves like 1 good dagger. I think.
1 good
So,
dagger for you and 29 crude daggers that you can sell
Why not?
for a very low price.
Yeah, money's money though. Yeah, I need a lot of it. So.
Oh, I was gonna take 50 of the sling bullets. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, sling bullets you can have.
I can use it. Something.
I mean, I can technically use a sling, but I don't see him, really using one.
Well, especially since you can use Firebolt, which does a lot more damage than a bullet sling.
Yep, exactly.
Alright, so Valtteri, you were about to say something about the dreams.
I'm looking around and ask Trevor, you also had a dream last night?
Yes, I did. Yeah, yeah. And, he describes it. Remembers. It seemed to be very similar to audiences over there. So.
Well, I also had kind of the same dream.
Any details that you can remember?
It just felt like it was because of the coins we got back then from that big person. Like, each of us got a coin. It kind of felt that it had to do something with it.
So you didn't have one, Toby? And with the insight check.
That's why I'm so interested. I've never. It's crazy how you guys could all three have a dream.
Plus 5, so that's 24.
Oh my
24,
god! What do I have to
alright.
roll?
Well, if you want to counter this, it would be a deception roll.
Okay, let's see. Give me a second. Let's see what happens. Oh, I forgot you had so much insight. Oh, and I have freaking. Okay, wow, thank you. Deception.
Oh,
Wait, how much did you roll?
19 plus 5, so 24.
yeah, basically you have to roll a 20 if you want to deceive him.
What the heck?
I think even a
Okay,
natural
well,
20, even if your deception was lower, would still
I'm trying.
counter it.
I'm trying. Why not? That's a 15. Plus 0. So,
So you are fairly sure he's lying.
Just squint
leave.
my eyes at him a little and just turn away.
Tobiyashi, you do feel like you weren't able to deceive him.
I'm gonna get up and I go outside and train.
Alright.
No more questions.
It's like, yeah, let me get out of this situation here.
Let me just,
I love the fact that he said outside when we are already outside.
Oh yeah.
Imagine out of the little
circle thing,
cubby
yeah.
hole that we're in here. Yeah, just get away from Trevor. Yeah,
Yeah, he knows too
that
much.
didn't go well.
I'm gonna turn to the rest of the group when you leave, and I'm like, guys, I think we should be kind to Tobiyashi on this. He's probably feeling a little down that he didn't have a dream while the rest of us did.
Maybe he doesn't remember his dream.
Oh, I very much think he remembers his dream.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, he had a little eye twitch or something. It was a tell. I don't think he was being honest, but maybe he just didn't take to it as we did. It might have been more of a nightmare for him. So I'll just leave it at that for now.
I'm
Alright.
training. Figured out that I have some new moves. Figuring those things out while I'm outside. Just outside of that, like the stone hinge.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to actually think about or doing other than just training? It's
Well, in my mind, I'm thinking kind of like I need to be careful around Trevor now because it's a little insightful. I thought I was, but oh my gosh, he
well,
read me like a.
you have an extremely high perception.
Oh yeah, can I look around? Oh, I'll be looking around while I'm training, like for the people coming to help us and for anything trying to invade our space. And see if they're talking about me.
Nothing else comes while you're training, and you have about 30 minutes before the caravan gets here. So if there's anything you'd like to do or say before we jump to this point, now would be the time.
Mm.
All right. So half an hour passes. You train valiantly as you hear your friend talk about the dream they had and the different interpretation that audience has of his dream. But it mostly remains a fairly mild and courteous conversation. You don't hear anyone starting to scream, yell, or suddenly proclaim that everyone are infidels or anything like that. So it's it's fairly calm, eventless. So after half an hour, you do start hearing loud noise coming into your direction. Noise that you easily identify as a few carts rolling through the woods. And maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, you see them breach the edge of the forest and go toward the outcrop of rock, and in a single long... Sorry, it's very important when you talk to say the words in the right order, because if you don't, it doesn't make the same story. So let me start over. You see... Wow, I think audience has a lot of problem with his camera. So you see the group of carts making their way from the edge of the forest toward where you actually are. Single file, fair amount of people. You see another dragonborn mixed with this, 5 or 6 humans. You see 2 halfling and a half orc that has a cloth of a priestly order. Yeah, they're all making their way to the center, getting ready to transfer everything, check once more, make sure that everything is there or supposed to be there. You know, not that they don't trust you, but they don't trust you, you know. So as they make their way, as they start to pile everything in the carts, you hear the half-orc, probably cleric, female, start giving orders to put this in this cart, the food goes in this one, whatever equipment we have for the mage tower, you put in this cart. Come on, move it. We have a schedule we have to keep, and we are late. Come on, come on. While this goes on, is there anything you want to do?
I'll greet the half-orc. Trying to get the conversation kind of, I don't know.
I follow her lead.
All right. Audience and Trevor, do you do anything?
I go and start moving boxes.
All right. You're muted, Trevor.
Sorry. Yep. I just stand back and watch it. You know, I just look at my arms and like, yeah, I can't really do much here. So I just
all right.
Pull out another book from my bag and start reading through it.
All right. So Valtteri, what do you say to this half-orc? She seems to be very busy coordinating everything, the efforts to take the inventory and replace everything at their proper order, because as you can easily see by the way that she keeps telling everyone to change this from this cart and this cart, the kobold pretty much made a mess of everything.
I greet her and ask if we could help her in any way to see what box has to go where.
How do you
Hmm?
greet her? How do you greet her?
Wait, can I? Wait, what? I quickly have to look what languages I can speak again.
Okay.
I can't. Okay, I can't speak Orcish, so I'm gonna greet her in common.
Okay. What do you say?
Hello. I think I assume that you are from the ship. To bring back the carriages for the ship.
So, as you greet her, she only half pays attention to you. She keeps her mind on ordering everyone around and making sure that everything is prepared properly. But she does answer you, and as you greet her, she says, "Yes, did you want anything?"
I wanted to ask if we could assist you in any way.
Well, of course, of course. If you can take orders as well as... Well, let's say as the Dragonborn over there, you probably can help. Humans are sometimes so... challenging to keep in mind.
I'm right now looking at my strength and I'm like... Can I help? I'll try my best. I'm not the strongest, but yeah.
Well, most of those helping are deckhands, sailors, and if I look at your stats, well, you are above average in strength.
Oh, okay.
About that time that she says, humans are hard to maintain, he just kind of one hand poof, closes his book loudly, and just says, hello.
She turns and just answers back, "Hello. Did you want to say something?"
Not particularly.
Very good, very good. Come on, let's keep going, let's keep going. You there, what are you doing? No, I said discard. And she is yelling to a human.
I'm kind of like silently like... because
So
I'm not used.
she looks at you again and says, "Well, if you want to help, we have our halfling here who seems to be having quite a bit of challenge moving everything around, so you could always help him."
I'll go help him. But I also greet him first and then help him.
So as you get close to him, "Oh, hello. I think I'm not pulling my weight again, huh? Oh,
I'm here
I'm
to
doing
help
my
you.
best. I'm doing my best, but when you're trying to move around a bag of food that is as large as you, it's sort of hard."
Well, I think everyone would have had the same struggle if they had to carry something as big as themselves.
Yeah, but still, I said I was able, and it seems that I'm not. It's very hard living on the sea.
Yeah.
But you get to meet a lot of very interesting people. Like you.
That is true. Oh, thank you.
Where are you from exactly? Are you from the island? He keeps
I'm-
trying to drag his bag, but he starts...
I'll help him drag it and
All right.
keep the conversation going. And yeah, I'm from this island, from a little tribe.
Oh.
Not that
A
much known.
tribe. Tribe of what?
Mostly druids, but there were all different races, like elves, humans, dragonborn. Yeah.
A druid tiefling. That's a bit uncommon. How did that came to be?
Well, they found me when I was a baby, so I've always lived with the druids, so For me, it's something normal.
Okay. Tell me, there is this weird guy in silver over there staring at us. Do you know him?
I look around. Who do I see?
He's pointing at Tobiyashi.
Oh.
He's wearing gray silver robe, so.
Yes, that is one of my companions.
Well, he looks bored. Maybe he can help.
Hey, Toby. Wanna help?
Sorry. I was having a conversation. Yeah. I'll see them struggling, and I'll come and try to help them out.
All right. Do you just?
So yeah, I walk up and I say, "You guys look like you need a little bit of help there," and I'll go and grab the bag and see if I do any better.
Well,
Yes, that is true.
yeah, you do mostly exactly the same as Valtteri. It's you have very similar strength, so it's better than what your halfling friend is doing, but it's fairly similar. You have a very similar build, and I think similar height. I'm not sure. So with the exception that she has horns and a weird skin color and tail, well, you look exactly the same,
Yeah. So yeah, how long is it gonna? How big is this bag?
Well, it's mostly dried food reserve. So dried jerky. Well, actually, that's the same thing. So jerkies, dried fruit. It's mostly food for the pile that he's trying to move to one of the carts. Apparently, all the food is being moved to one of two carts. So exactly which one or why, you're not sure, but two carts have seemed to have been designated for the food. One of the carts seemed to have been designated for component reserved for the magical school. The fourth cart, you're not sure. She seems to be the taskmaster of this. She seems to be discreet as to what is being put in that cart.
Okay.
All right.
Well, as they're doing that, I'll actually approach the taskmaster there, the orc lady.
Half orc, probably cleric.
Yeah, and I'll just say to her, I'm not strong and able to carry this stuff, but I am efficient. I can help you possibly speed this process up. Do these people know how to read, understand numbers and such?
Well, yes, of course. We're at sea. We're not barbarians lost in some sort of town stuck high above a mountain.
Okay. I can possibly help with this. May I paint a number on each of these carts for you? And my idea was, as they pick up an item from the list, you look at it on your itinerary, and you just tell them to take it to 1, 2, 3, 4, however many carts. It might speed up the process rather than pointing. You might not even have to look up.
All right. It's not a bad idea. Go ahead. And I'm gonna put numbers beside each of the component on the manifest.
Yeah, he'll reach into his bag and actually take out a little box and open it up, and he has a brush and a little painter's brush, and he'll paint a number on each one for her, and say, there you go, and explain to everybody, please, when she calls out a number to you, take the item that she tells you to the numbered cart, please. Try and get this done as quickly as possible.
All right. So as you say this, she just completes what you were saying by saying, anything that is food, put in cart 1 and 2. Anything that belongs to the magic school, put in cart 3. Anything that has a vague name or that you're not sure of, put in cart 4. Hurry, hurry, hurry!
Easy enough. Might help this along a little.
Yeah, you gain a
Not
little
all
bit
he
of
could
time.
contribute. Just
All right.
smarts, not so much strength.
Well, it takes roughly an hour for everything to be properly placed because she's not just tossing everything. She's actually placing everything to make sure that they survive the trip and that nothing falls off. So it takes about an hour. There's a lot of people, so it's not that long. Valtari and Tobiyashi, you do learn that the halfling you're helping is called Sunis.
How do you spell that?
Sounis.
Sounis.
Yes. And for those watching, there are going to be times where I'm going to pronounce name more in French than in English. I'd say sorry, but I'm not because I'm not sorry of being from where I am. So
I'm just gonna continue to help other people who need it, and yeah.
all right. So as I said, after an hour, everything has been placed inside the carts, and everything seems to be ready. So the half-orc turns around you and just said, well, if there's anything you would like to do before we leave, now is the time because we're about to leave. She mostly speaks to
Sure.
you four.
Yeah, Trevor would speak up since the sooner we can get out of here, the better.
All right?
Yeah, I'll
We've been
agree.
quite some time waiting for you guys, so let's go.
Audience?
I'm talking to the other Dragonborn.
Okay.
And
And anything in particular that you are talking to him about?
Well, I'm asking him where he's from, if he's lived near. All right, let's try this. Let's see if I've. Oh wait, no. Never. No. Yes, here we go. Is from the Dragonborn capital, Gohornathil. How was that?
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's good enough. That's good enough.
Good enough.
Yes.
All right. I'll ask him if he's from there and just like.
No,
What's
no.
this up to?
Actually, he's from Estrin. He's just from the colony that is inside the mountains that you can find in Estrin. He just joined this expedition because, frankly, he was curious about life at sea. Because from the mountain where they can often see the sea, and they sometimes see ships. And he was wondering what that life was like. Sort of felt a bit weary of the life inside the mountain.
Oh yeah, what color is he? What type of dragon is he? Because that's actually.
Well, his colors don't come out extremely strong, but you do see some draconic features that would put him within the brass dragon. A few of the featured on his face, the way that the scales are placed, and the ways that components of dragon physiology is made. So he's
Okay.
probably this nature is the strongest part within him. Colors fit also. You can see his scale. They're not a plain color. They're sort of little discoloration, which would indicate that he probably has also a stronger brass dragon heritage. So yeah, he was just, well, as he says, was feeling a bit worried of the life inside the mountains. I sort of knew everything there had to know about the area around where we were, so I decided to take on new challenges. And who knows, maybe meet with other clans. Sometime you can learn valuable information from sharing techniques and fighting styles between clans, between villages. It's always useful, always good. One day I'm going to come back, and pretty sure I'm going to be able to teach a few of the new tricks I've learned.
Ah. Do you worship any faiths, might I ask?
Not a fate exactly. Not a god exactly, but yes, fate. Mostly neutral fate because of the sea. So, of course, I've eventually adopted fates closer to nature. Have good travels.
Have you ever thought about worshipping the dragons?
Well, dragons are very nice and all, and most of them are very noble creatures, but as gods, it's a bit much.
Yet they seem to have, at least some of them seem to have the power of them.
Oh, yes, of course. Everyone eventually has power. I'm pretty sure that you eventually will be a force to be reckoned with. You seem to be of a fate and with weapons, so I would probably say priest, maybe a warrior of some fate. So you probably will eventually become something very powerful, a force to be reckoned with. I'm pretty sure that dragons sometimes do reach the same levels, which on their scale make them seem extremely powerful, but I'm not convinced as gods.
Very well, very well. Remind me to talk to you more in our travels.
Well, if you are going to join us for the travel, you are going to have a few more occasions to talk.
All right, and I'll leave it at that. I'll be like,
okay. So if you ever want to talk to him again, he did name himself Cortive.
Cortive. Okay.
So anyone else?
Oh.
Well, on our trip back, are we walking back, or
yes? So okay. You are looking at maybe 3 hours of walk, maybe because of the cart, 4 hours. It's not necessarily as fast as walking in your own.
Okay. As we're walking, I'll walk up next to the head of this, the half-orc taskmaster cleric, and I'll ask her. I recently learned a new spell, and I heard you say that some of that was for a mage tower. Do they happen to have any spell components on that cart that might be for sale or could work out in trade, possibly?
Oh, well, we're not at liberty to sell the equipment that we're supposed to carry, but once we get there, you might actually be able to buy something. I don't know. None of this has been labeled as merchandise to be sold. It's merchandise to be delivered.
Fair enough. If I ask you if there's something on here, could you at least tell me if it's part of the inventory where I could seek it out once we get there? I could roll persuasion or something if you want. I don't know.
Well, I'd say it depends. Are you planning on just looking or trying to steal something?
I'm not trying to steal anything.
All right.
No.
No. If you just want to look, yes, you can make a persuasion roll.
Okay.
Well, she looks at you hesitantly and says, well, maybe you can just tell me what you're looking for and I'll tell you if they have it.
Just a small diamond, actually. Like 50 gold piece worth, not something very big. Just it's a spell component that I'll be needing.
Alright, well, as you walk, she takes the manifest and she looks at it and says, well, there is nothing labeled as a diamond, but there is a bag of gems, so there might actually be what you're looking for. You're going to have to settle this with the mages when we get there.
Fair enough. I just was looking for a lead for one for when we arrive, so that's good enough for me.
Alright.
Thank you.
Alright, so unless anyone else has something they want to talk about with someone.
Well, yes. I want to go up to the headmaster chick, whatever her name is. And I go up to her and I'm like, so, you recently seen the captain of the ship, right?
Yes? Why?
What was his state of mind? as
What
he
do you
left?
mean?
Was he any less drunk than he was the day I left him?
I don't believe the captain of the ship drank.
Oh,
I know that sometimes he does when he wants to celebrate something, but
okay. All right. Thank you for the information. And one more thing. How dangerous would you say that the traveling from this island to I forgot the name of it.
do you want to know that from here to their destination, or from here to the largest island of the island chain?
Yeah. Well, no, of our destination.
Of your destination or the destination of the boat?
Well, of ours, like from getting onto the boat, like to
Alright.
where we're going.
Well, he says, well, getting to the next island is fairly fast, and so we're not anticipating any problem. Traveling from those two islands here to Estrin is a bit longer, so there is a chance that we might encounter something. However, for the time of the year, it's relatively safe.
Okay. And then I'll just continue walking, and that's all I have to say.
All right. So, anything else?
One more
Okay.
thing. I guess I would be close enough where I would hear their conversation, at least, unless he was being very quiet about it.
Tobiyashi, were you trying to be very quiet about this,
No.
or you were?
Not at all. Just having no
Alright.
conversation.
So, yeah, he'll walk back up to her and say, we might have an encounter on this trip. I'm sorry, but the last trip I made trying to get to another island proved almost fatal to me. I was quite sick for a very long time. How
Oh, don't worry
do you
about.
come across diseases and stuff around on these trips?
Well, I believe this is why they ask for a priest to be on board to make sure there are no problem. Though most of my duties are spent to making the journey more favorable with the seas and the winds, I can take care of any illness you might suffer while we are on the sea.
Well, while we are on the sea, I am going to be your shadow. I'm not looking forward to this trip, so I will be close to you at all times, if possible.
Very well. I do warn you, I often take the night shift.
I'll deal with it as long as I can. I might sleep at your feet, but I'll stay with you best I can.
Very well, very well.
I imagine
He'll
Trevor now
slowly,
kind of.
slow his pace down to give her space.
I imagine Trevor like now kind of being like the pet dog of the priest. like just following, hurting it all the time.
Oh, nice! A half-orc with a pet human.
Hey, gonna eat that, don't you?
All right, so you make your way to the village, to the port city. Sorry, very easily. Being with a large group, an Aftan who looks like he probably would be able to slaughter the entire group by himself. A priest who is powerful enough to influence the sea and the wind, and a group of adventurers. Not a lot of creatures are going to try and attack this moving caravan. So, you get to the port city of Beltrad very easily.
Hey,
So it's roughly 10 and 11 in the morning. They go directly to the ship and start loading up the merchandise. You see on the docks the first mate that you talked to the last time, but you can also see on the boat the captain of the boat, which you haven't seen before. The captain of the boat is another dragonborn, a fair bit older than the other one on the ship. This one does seems to be reaching the later years of his life. Some of his scales have started to fade slightly, but he does bear a great sword on him. He's not wearing a lot of armor, but no, he's ready, just in case. You're muted. Audience, you're muted.
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I was giving the respect nod.
Oh, okay,
okay. Great sword. Like that's how you do it.
All right.
Respect.
All right. So yes, he is very calm. He gives order that are followed almost exactly as he stops speaking. You can very easily see that his crew trust him almost blindly and does what he says without question. Contrary to the half-orc who sometimes had to raise her voice to be heard. So you see everything being loaded. Anything you want to do before they leave? They have about an hour and a half before they set sail.
I will go back up to the first mate and hand him back the beacon that he gave me.
All right. So the first mate, just human, seems to have sobered up. Seems to still have a lingering headache. And says, "Oh yes, the beacon. You're the group that kept pestering me about getting passage and wanting to help. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So I guess you survived. That's good.
Barely.
With ease, my friend, with ease.
Well, there seemed to be dissension in your group about how easy it was, but yeah, if I...
Trevor's just looking at the audience there, just like thinking to himself, yeah, you were the one that went down first.
I think it was actually Tobiyashi.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's why I said it was so bad.
You went down, nonetheless.
Guard.
Oh no, if you want a short recap of this, Tobiyashi fell during the fight, then was brought back, then Audience fell during the fight, and then was brought back after the fight. And
I remember now, yeah.
Valtteri got pelted with sling bullets almost to the point of being unconscious.
Yeah.
And Trevor came out
Oh, I died.
relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I think you just took one dagger hit. So a little bit of tearing in your cloth and a little bit of blood, but You're a mage. You've seen things explode before, so it wasn't anything new. So yeah. First hand says, "Oh, all right. You can just talk to the captain. Say that I promised you'd be able to join us if you help, and apparently you did. So there's probably not gonna be any. Sorry, any trouble. So yes, you can go ahead.
Right.
I
For a
guess
bit of warning,
I'll-
we're not a passenger ship. You're not gonna have comfy beddings. You're probably gonna share beddings with the rest of the crew.
I'll walk up to the captain. Then.
All right, like I said, elder dragonborn, tall. When you get next to him, he is almost as tall as you. Not as strong, but still very strong, even for dragonborn standard. His heritage seems to be a little bit more difficult to see because of the fading in his scale, and he seems to have, at least for his appearance, some mix between silver and white. You're not sure. Maybe it's white, maybe it's silver, but because he's become so old, the color has slightly faded and become sort of a gray-white color. But he doesn't look frail from age. He just looks a little bit more withered.
All right. I'll walk up to him. I'll say, in Draconic, "Greetings, Captain. May the dragons bless you on this fine day."
Oh, greetings, greetings. I think you helped our expedition find the merchandise.
Yes, we have. Here is the beacon that I was given, and I returned the beacon.
Didn't you already give it to...
Oh, I didn't know if he took it. Never said whether he took it or not.
All right. Well, no, fair enough. I didn't say he took it, so... Yeah, sure. You give it to him.
Okay.
So he takes it, pockets it. All right. Oh, that's good. Seems sturdy enough. I would imagine there was some sort of payment involved.
Yes, your first mate offered that we're given passage to the main island, right? For
Estron.
yeah, to Estrid for free as long as we helped out with the crewly duties.
You tell him that, and he frowns a little bit and looks just above your shoulder at his first mate and says, "Oh, did he, huh? Oh, I guess I'll have to honor this and talk to him about something later. But alright, sure, if you can pull your weight. I'm not going to leave you here, especially after you helped us like this. So yes, you can come aboard. If you don't mind, you could always also help the crew load up everything, and we're going to leave in about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour."
Thank you, sir. I'll get right on it, and I'll go start helping load.
Are these your party members?
Yes,
friends?
these are my companions. They helped as well.
I bow.
He bows back.
Hello.
Well, he doesn't say hello like this, but he,
Yeah. But I'm like a little bit shy.
he
Like,
acknowledges your salutation with a
Yeah.
small head nod.
Trevor doesn't wave so much, but he just holds his hand up and a little nod there.
He nods back. Very well. And what do you call yourselves? Do you have a name as a unit, or are you just people that met? In that case, what are your name? Or am I just calling you the group with the humans, the dragonborn, and the
We
tiefling?
just met a day or two ago, so yeah, we don't have per se a group name yet. But I'm Trevor.
Very well. Trevor?
I'm gonna shout back. We are the followers of the dragons.
I'm like, oh god.
Standing behind audience,
I'm not
Trevor just
associated.
goes, no.
Well, he
Stop
looks at he
saying-
looks at the reaction of everyone else and says, "Interesting, interesting. Very well." So, Trevor, he looks at Tobiyashi and says, "And what about you, young man?"
Oh, I'm Tobiyashi, and I have helped regather your supplies, and yeah, whatever you need me for, I'm here.
Very well, very well. Interesting. And you, young miss?
My name is
Yeah.
Valtteri.
Greetings, greetings. And you, fellow Dragonborn, I don't believe you have named yourself.
Oh, I was walking away, but I'll shout back. I'll shout back. I'm audience, sir.
Very well.
Pleasure.
Audience, Trevor, Valtteri, and Tobias. Alright. I'm going to remember this. Very well, very well. If you want to help, you can make this go faster. Otherwise, I suggest that you take care of whatever you need to take care before we leave. You have half an hour, 3/4 of an hour before we leave. Or you can just get in and acquaint yourself with the rest of the ship. Find a place to bed in, as we are going to be sailing through the night. So we are going to be arriving tomorrow at the earliest on the island of Rotrad.
Trevor will approach the captain and just ask, I'm quite frail, and my last boat trip actually got me quite sick. What would be the cleanest room on this ship?
Unfortunately, we're not a merchant. We're not a passenger ship. We're a merchant ship. So you're gonna have to make do with the more communal arrangement that we have. But don't worry, we have a priest on board. If you start exhibiting signs of illness, we can treat it.
Okay. And he'll just wander off the ship. He's going to stay off the ship as long as he can until it's absolutely ready to set sail.
Just as you are leaving his side, he says, "Are we just going to have to worry about seasickness or something else?"
Talking
And he
to
looks
me
at you very
directly?
personally.
Well, the last time I was, and just kind of looks around the party, because I imagine they're still standing around. He doesn't really want to say this out
Well,
loud. but-
audience is already helping
Yeah, he
load
walked off.
things.
Yeah, he already walked off and started helping. I caught some sort of disease. I was very sick and was in a facility. I'm not sure how long, possibly years. I was unconscious for most of it, so I'm very nervous about this trip.
Well, don't worry. It's a small trip. It's only a few hours, half a day to get to the other port. So there's not going to be enough time to get sick other than seasick.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, but I'm just going, I'm not very strong, so I can't help that way, so I'm just going to stay off on shore until we're ready to leave. Thank you.
Very well. And he looks at you, Valtteri and Tobiyashi. What do you do? Do you get in, help people?
I say I'll be right back. I'll help as soon as I am, but I have to go take care of some business real quick.
Okay. Valtteri?
And go to
Oh,
the town.
sorry.
That's it. Go to
Okay.
the town.
I'll help the people, but I'm also like really excited looking around on the ship because I was never on a ship before, or never have seen such a big ship, only like little boats.
All right, all
So I'm
right.
really excited. just-
Your excitement is shared by your friend. All right, Tobiyashi, you said you want to do something.
Yes. I'm going to the town or the little town
Mhm.
by the port, and I am going to look for a shop.
Okay. Which one?
Um, let's see. I'll just go to like blacksmith, I guess.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
are going to do what?
Well, I walk up to the blacksmith, doing whatever he's doing, and I ask him if he knows of any legends around this side of this continent.
Legends.
Yes, legends of immense power.
On the continent you're about to go to? Or
Yes.
on the island you are right now?
No, the continent we're about to go to.
Okay, so it's not a continent, it's a large island.
Island. Yes.
Um. Oh, what does he know? Oh. Well, actually, um, he did hear a few things from the continent, but nothing as grand as you want to know. He did hear a few legends about being a few elemental creature walking about. One of those elemental creature type that help people understand how the world works. Not as much as the exiled, but they did give a fair amount of clues. So there is that. Otherwise, in terms of things, beings, and whatever of great powers, the island chain is fairly young. There hasn't been any significant wars, so nothing was lost. There is a fair presence of elf on Estrin, so probably if you go there, you'll be able to find something interesting, but no legend about powerful object or beings or things like that. There are rumors of a cult slowly growing, and quite a few adventurers have been trying to make their way to Estrin. But other than that,
Okay. After that, I start to take out the knives from my backpack one by one and ask him, yeah, how much they're worth. Just to see.
yeah. All right. So the daggers, which are in good shape, he would buy them from you for 1 gold each. For those that are very crude, he'll give you 5 coppers for each, but not more. Most of them he's just going to melt them down and turn them into something else.
I say thank you, and I hope you have a blessed day. And I will look for a potion shop, I guess, for healing, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alchemist?
the same ideas that I did. I'm just going to do the same thing. What's your turn?
So Trevor, you want to start looking
Shopping.
for potion shop?
Yeah, I would just ask somebody if there was an apothecary around there.
Okay.
Well,
as
he
it's-
was going to unload his daggers as well.
So you mostly follow him, but always 10 minutes behind him.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we didn't discuss it, but yeah, we had the same ideas. And
It just
yeah,
I'm
left.
like right behind him, like
Left.
there was a guy just in here unloading some daggers as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, Tobiyashi didn't say he sold them. He just
Nope. I just
asked the
asked how
price.
much they were.
So, well, you probably as you arrive at the blacksmith, he was just starting to do again whatever he was doing. He looks at you, and when you ask about daggers and other shop, he's just looking. Wow, you know, one of those days when you have deja vu's one after the other. Phew. So he gives you the same price, 1 gold for those that are in good shape, and 5 coppers for those that are not.
All right, so I have 11 bad and 1 good, so yeah, I'll take it because he just wants them out of his bag.
1 gold and
so.
55 coppers.
Yep. All right. I will mark it
Great.
off and just ask him where in a pocket there he is.
Well, yeah, sure. There is one. You are getting maybe a bit close to when they would close to go out and gather more herbs, but sure, if you hurry up, you might be able to get there before they close.
Okay.
And he just gives you location where it is. It's not far. He just tells you that you should just go down the street, and the first occasion you get, just turn left, and it's the third building on that street. You're gonna find it very, very easily.
Okay. All right. I'm sure. Well, I don't know if you want to do Toby first or not, since he actually got there
Well,
before me.
Well, actually, because Tobiyashi didn't ask for direction, and he looked.
I'm just looking around now.
And he looked
Okay.
around, and you asked for direction. I'm gonna say that you find yourself on the same street, and you notice one another. So Tobiyashi, you see Trevor turning the corner of the street, and Trevor, you see Tobiyashi wandering about in that street.
I'll yell, "Hey, Trevor!"
I'll just yell, hey, sorry, I'm in a hurry trying to get to the store before they close here.
I run to catch up with them, not knowing they're going to close.
Not even knowing where I'm going, actually.
Yeah,
So.
and just looking around. I mean, might as well
It's like,
follow
hey,
you.
maybe he might be going somewhere important, so let's see where he's going.
Yeah, let's see. I'm a curious man.
All right. So, yeah. Well, you find the shop. As I was saying, you see a woman. I'd say probably has some elvish feature, but she's not elven. So, because of her elven features, it's a bit hard to know exactly how old she is, but she looks to be somewhere in her 30s, or the equivalent for a half-elf. She is starting to pack up things, but the shop is still open.
I start looking
Trevor.
around on the shelves.
Yeah, Trevor will walk in and speak to her. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey, I'm about to leave on this merchant ship to get to another island. Do you have any potions or anything that might help prevent sickness while at sea? Diseases, seasickness, anything of that nature?
Well, of course, we are on the Mistle Island chain. We have remedies to help you. The Mistle tree bark is very good to help with seasickness.
Yeah. Anything to boost my immune system to keep it from happening to start with? Medieval antibiotics?
Oh, wow. Definitely. I'll make that
I'm
right
looking for gravels.
Just eat a lot of dirt as a child.
now. Be fine.
Trevor's really
We do.
paranoid about this trip. For good reason.
Well, Well, she says, of course, we already have some prepared tea made with the mistle bark, so this will prevent you from experiencing the worst of seasick, mainly. And she paused a second, wanting to be not too gross with what she was going to say, and said, well, it will prevent you from getting
Shitting.
acquainted the second time with your lunch. But as far as preventing seasickness, oh,
carrying
maybe
it.
I might have something. The herbs are a bit rare, so it might cost you a bit.
Okay. How much are we looking?
So she goes behind the counter, looks in a few bags, and takes a little box out of one, put it on the table, opens it, and there are a few branches of something you've just like that, you don't recognize it. So, well, there's this. It did take me a little while to get it. Let's say 5 silver, 5 gold.
I like the first price better.
Sorry, that was the dungeon master saying
Yeah,
silver
I
and
know.
7 gold.
Let's see.
Do I overhear this?
Well, she's not trying to be discreet, so yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
It's not a
quiet
large
either,
shop.
so
You
yeah.
easily hear.
All right.
I wasn't really being quiet because I've already explained my previous experience with you and Valkyrie around anyway. So, could you do any better? 3 gold, maybe?
The problem is that I have to gather them. Unless you have a way for me to easily have access to the fruits of these herbs, it's a bit hard for me to lower the price.
How can I take half a dose or something?
Well, it might help you to go to the next island, but not further than this if you only take half a dose.
All right. I hear this, and I'm going to. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care. Yeah, my character would agree. So, I'll take out 5 gold pieces, and I'll just give them to the lady, and yeah, leave that, and keep looking at the counters and looking for potions around.
So
Not say
you're
anything to Trevor or anything. I'll just
All
pay
right.
for it.
so. Oh well,
Oh, thank you.
thank you very much. So remove
Yeah, no problem.
5 gold from your inventory.
Yep.
And
Please,
yeah,
welcome.
she gives you those. She tells you that you should eat the leaves directly from the branch. It's really something that's meant to be chewed. So
Should I do it all at once, or half now and half when we get to the other island, or?
well, this would make for a dose. So if you're looking to go to Estrin, it would only help you maybe for the first day of travel if you only take half a dose. There's not much that I can do with what I have for the entire trip. You will be gone at sea for maybe 2 to 4 days in
How
total.
much did I buy for him?
What?
How much did I buy for him? Just wondering.
Well, you bought everything she had, which is a little bit over a full dose.
Okay. Okay.
Sure, you can maybe stretch that out. Is the branch itself good for anything?
It's good
I'd be
for
willing
picking.
to eat it if I have to.
It's It's good for picking the food chunks out of your teeth, but no, it doesn't have any medicinal values.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I'll stuff it in this bag.
All right, Tobiyashi. Well, you look around and you see a large variety of plants that can be used in an even larger variety of method. There are a few brews that have already been made. Most of them resembling teas. There are a few potions which looks to have magical properties just because of the color they have and the bottle in which they are. But it's not a large shop. It's not a big shop.
Okay, I go to the woman and I am going to ask, so you have everything you would need to make a potion with healing properties?
Well, yes, actually, I do have a few healing potions in the store. And she points to one of the place where you saw a few potions that you weren't most likely sure that they were magical in some way. And there are 3 healing potion, the basic healing potion. But still,
Okay, I'll go on and ask her, how much would these cost?
if I'm not mistaken, the base price for well, these will go for 55 gold each.
Woo! Woo! Okay, do you have any of the materials to make said potion?
Well, yes. Yes. Yes, I could find the necessary material for it.
How much would that run?
I would still ask for 30 gold.
Okay, alright. Okay, this is good information. Jesus Christ. Okay. Alright, I'll say,
Speak
well,
up says, yeah, well, he already bought me this. Can you at least cut up a deal on those? Since he's the one with all the money.
55 gold for a healing potion is very close to standard price.
yeah.
Close.
Well,
I'll
I
just
am
say
the only
okay,
apothecary here that actually makes them, other than a little mage shop nearby, which I believe isn't open right now. I'm not sure how much you would ask, because he is using other ingredients that what I am using. I am using the resources of of nature, and he is using, well, other ingredients that I am not proficient in hunting down.
Okay, I'll do one more thing.
Yep.
Can you give me a list of the stuff to make a healing potion?
So you want a recipe?
Yes. If anything, would that cost anything? How much money? You know.
Well, if you want to gather it, I believe
Same.
that a potion this basic, if you want to make the first level of potion, is something that you can gather within 6 to 8 hours of foraging in the forest. You are proficient with herbalist kits, so you actually know how to make a healing potion.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I already know it. All right.
Yeah.
Good enough. All right. I say good day and maybe one day, and I
well,
head out.
Since you are proficient with the herbalist kit, you do know that unless you're having some special discount or buying an inferior grade potion, 50 gold is the normal price for a healing potion.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I say good
Spend the day
day.
foraging and sell that stuff. You can make
Yeah, I say good day, and I leave.
All right. Well, she
Yeah.
thanks you for your patronage and lets you leave.
It lets me leave. Oh my gosh.
You're free to go.
What was in store?
But yeah, just as we're walking back to the ship, he'll thank Toby and thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Just one thing. Just trust me. That's it.
Just trust me.
Yeah,
As
I
much
think
as you
that I think that insight check's still lingering back there. Yeah.
And yeah,
Very well. Just try to be honest with me.
as much as I can.
so shady. It's not that whole
we
conversation
all have our secrets, you know. And nobody wants to share their whole life story with strangers. So just ask you something. Just be honest with me as you can.
Yes, sir.
All right, so unless anyone wants to do... I would have liked audience to be there. That would have been sort of... All right, so unless there's something else you want to do before the ship leaves, we're going to say that we
Fine.
can jump directly there. Valtteri, is there anything you want to do?
No, I'm just helping the people and just look around in the ship really excitedly like a little kid.
All right.
Diamond?
Yeah.
Audience, anything you want to do other
I'm trying to kind of slightly show off my strength by trying to carry more than everyone else.
than... All right.
Like
Yes,
stacking-
yes.
A real
stacking
macho.
boxes.
Always taking the boxes with the mangle that helps to show off your muscles. And I'm pretty sure that...
Stack boxes on each shoulder there, you know, just double shouldering. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and for
pretty
some
much.
Holding one
odd
for the
reason, audience took off his armor for this.
Just like
Yeah,
all
just
oily.
like shirtless. Just like
Just one oily dragon.
He's doing
Yeah.
the Arnold.
Yes. Scaly boy.
All right, so everything gets loaded fairly easily, and well, audience being as large and as muscular as you are, you impress a few people. Not the senior staff of the ship. You certainly don't impress the Dragonborn. He's seen a lot more people similar to you, and probably some stronger. The cleric has her god on her side, so she's not that impressed. And the first mate, well, you're pretty sure he is still recovering from his headache. So unless you can help him settle that problem, he's not going to be impressed with anything you try and do.
I mean, I could help him with that problem, but I'm not going to. I could probably like lay on hands him and he'd feel better. But
I think you can cure disease and poison also with lay on hand, no?
yeah,
Yeah.
if I use 5 of the points, I can. Yeah, Trevor, you should be hanging out with me, man. You don't need all this other stuff.
Already said we'll be hanging out with the cleric, you know, but I don't think I've seen you use the lay on hands, but I'm not sure I would know if it actually cures diseases or not.
I don't think you would.
Well, you could always make a religion check. Alright, so everything gets loaded up fairly fast. You, as I said, the audience, you do manage to impress a few crew members, including a few people walking on the street. You do find that you've attracted the attention of a few easily impressed females.
Nice.
Bring them along.
I'm just rolling my eyes after I saw what has
I
happened.
got a nat 1 on my religion check, so yeah, I had
Yeah,
interest
no,
in
you-
books besides religious books, so you know.
I'll,
Like, well,
you know,
I'll
you know
flash.
that.
I'll flash the ladies a wink as I walk. I'll flash a wink.
Oh goodness!
Like,
One of them got a
confident.
1. So yeah, one of them literally melts when you do this. She just falls on the ground and feels like she's
God.
out for the count.
oh, she knocked herself out. You just killed someone.
I'm just too good looking. My looks kill.
Killed by charisma. Okay.
Charisma.
Any bard ever.
Well, whatever you would have rolled on that charisma check, she just got a 1. So that's why she really fainted. You,
I will roll a charisma check. Let's see. What do I
unless
roll?
you get a 1, nothing's going to change
Nat
to what I
20,
said.
nat 20.
I got a 12. So
So yeah, no, they're impressed, and when they see their friend just collapse on the ground, they giggle and drag her out of there.
there you go.
All right,
Just
so
throw a little water in her face, wake her up.
once she's
Throw her
not
in
in
the ocean.
sight of this dragonborn, you know, it's sort of like the fear of the dragon. As long as you see them, it affects you. So they dragged her out in an alley and woke her up so she wouldn't see him.
Oh.
So everything gets loaded up fairly easily. The ship set sails, and we're gonna take the break right now.
All right.
For one of the first times so far, we can take the break almost on time.
I also don't have that much. Like, I'm not in a hurry because my first hour of school got cancelled, so
Okay.
I can take my time.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right. So
So you
we're
need an extra hour? No, I'm just trying.
Take an hour break. We'll be back in an hour.
no. So all right. So we're gonna be there 10 minutes sharp.
Yes,
All right.
perfect.
See you in 10 minutes, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
Hello.
So everything seems to be good. Sound seems to be good. All right. So, well, everyone gets on board. As I said, easily. There's no problem once the merchandise is on the boat. And you leave without a problem. The travel takes about half a day for the route they're trying to take. They're not going in a straight line, but sort of just a little curve, which adds a few hours. But other than that, it's a fairly simple boat ride. Anything you want to do while you're on the boat? You have...
Trevor makes a beeline for the deepest part away from the top of the ship as he can find.
I'll do the exact opposite. I'm gonna ask the captain if I could go onto the birds. Do they have a bird's nest?
The crow's nest? Well,
Yeah, the crow's nest.
I'm not sure they're going to let someone who has just entered the boat go up there. They
All
don't
right, then
know
I'll
you.
just meditate on the top deck.
All right.
I'm also on the top deck, but I'm more on the front to like where I can like look at the water, maybe see some fish or other creatures that I can later
Yeah,
try to
that's-
draw in my booklet.
That's fairly easy to do.
Maybe
uh,
dolphins.
I think your microphone is too far away. I can barely hear you.
Is the napkin on the ship?
Yes.
Yes. I am going to go find him.
Okay.
Enjoy the silence.
He is on the main deck, looking out toward the sea. He is fairly concentrated on looking outward. Even though Captain and the priest said that it wasn't going to be any dangerous, there wasn't going to be any danger to make this part of the trip. It does feel like he is diligently doing his part, and his part is
Okay.
protecting the ship for this part of the voyage. So he's on
Okay.
deck.
I'll kind of walk up beside him and
Yes.
like kind of lean on the rail next to him, looking out. Stand there for about probably 30 seconds in silence, just kind of like staring out. And then I'll be like, "So I heard that you can handle yourself quite well in a fight."
I can.
Kind of. Where did you learn your combat techniques?
I learned them on Estran, among the members of my clan.
Is this a style that's exclusively to your clan or to the Nafta as a whole?
No, I've seen masters of these techniques elsewhere. I am a blade master.
Interesting. My father was a martial adept, not a blade master, but a weapons, right? It was a weapon master. That's what I switched it to because it was initial. Okay. My father was a weapon master, so I learned many martial techniques as a child and through my youth, but I'd never seen your style before. If you had any free time, I would love if you could teach me a few of the basics of the style.
Well, I don't know if you know much about the blade masters and how they work, but my blades are directly linked to me. There is a relationship between me and my blades on what you would call spiritual level. Of course, I can teach you techniques, but unless you start dedicating yourself entirely to this art, you most likely won't be able to imitate them.
Do you have any? I know that my father taught me a few kind of spiritual techniques for like when I was initially learning the great sword, for example, like standing still and holding out in front of me to help improve my strength until I felt as though the great sword was more a part of me, so that I didn't feel its weight as much. Are there any similar like techniques like that you could teach me that would help me better understand the techniques, spiritual and mindful techniques?
Well, my techniques revolves around the twin swords. They're, and you can see at his side, it's two short sword. Short sword on Dragonborn level, so it's really on the edge of being called a long sword. But
for me, they would also be short swords.
yeah,
so.
that's what I mean. For it's a short sword seen through the eyes of a dragonborn, seen through the eyes of a human, it would probably be at the point where it's a little bit ambiguous. But officially, they are short sword. So he says, my techniques revolves around the use of two weapons simultaneously. Using them both offensively and defensively.
Okay. My father taught me to fight with two swords before, so I know the basics of the. I just choose my preferred weapon is the two-handed greatsword, but I do know the basics of fighting with two weapons, so that wouldn't be an issue.
Some of us learn how to use great swords and glaives, but I didn't. My weapons didn't choose this. My weapon chose to be the twin swords. And of course, I can show you. once we get to the village.
All right. Thank
I
you
guess
very
they
much.
call this a port city and not a village.
I'll say, all right. Thank you very much. Kind of give him a slight head nod, like respect I would give to, like, you know, a master of the weapons, and then walk away.
He nods back, a very practiced and respectful nod. The Naftans do have a very strong honor culture, just the same as the Dragonborn.
All right, I'm getting my Blade Master subclass.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't mind. We could talk a bit about this. Like I said, the reason why I didn't let anyone choose this when they started was because it hasn't fully been player tested, but it has been NPC tested. So there could be some balance issue if you ever decide to take this. But otherwise, yeah, sure. I don't mind sharing what I've built so far. And for those of you watching, yes, once it's been completed, you will probably be able to find this, at least hints of what it entails to be a Blade Master on my Patreon. And if I'm satisfied enough with it, you might actually find it on a more official level. So, the Blade Master, as per his tradition, doesn't wear armor. So this is why he's mostly wearing cloth. It is a hybrid, I'd say, between monk and warrior. A true hybrid. I know there is the Kensei monk, who is sort of a mix between the two, but those are really...
The monk fighter.
I mean, my character is just incredibly, like, he's an incredibly martial paladin, because that's how he was brought up by his father. So he's just interested. That's part of his character. He's interested if he sees any, like, fighting technique.
Well, then definitely you'd be interested, and you would notice very easily that the level of technique he has is very high, very practiced, and he does move. When he fights, he does moves as if the blades were literally a part of his arms. So there is a very high level of fusion between the weapon and the warrior.
Blades are controlling him.
Maybe not. You don't know. Well, actually,
Blades are a person.
in your monastery, you might have heard of what is a blade master, but since you weren't there when the conversation took place, I'm not going
meditating.
to. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Boy.
So, anyone else? Trevor, you've hidden deep inside the bow of the ship, and you're going to follow the priestess when she goes topside for the night shift. Valtteri, you are looking at sea animals. Anything else you want to do?
Just look around to see maybe if someone needs help or anything, but then I would just sit around, relax, and do some drawings in my booklet.
Well, you do see Sunis on the deck. He's doing his best, but he's mostly cleaning. No one seems to be giving him something that requires a lot of strength.
Okay. So it doesn't look like he's struggling with it.
Right now, no. Doesn't look like he's enjoying it, though. He
Well,
is cleaning the deck, after all.
if he isn't struggling, then I don't see to help him.
Okay. So, the day goes by. The night comes. So I suppose Trevor would follow Priestess on the deck.
Yep.
And
I'm still up there.
just keep meditating throughout the night.
Yeah, enjoying the
you fall
silence and the
asleep.
sound of the sea. Until I fall asleep on deck, just like...
Yeah, Trevor, you get on deck and you see Tobiyashi still meditating. He's been there ever since you've entered the ship. He just plucked down, started meditating, and he's still there. We're
Okay, we're fine.
part way through the night. He's not moving. Very impressive.
Or am I dead? No, check.
That's what I was just gonna say. I'm just gonna watch him very close, make sure I still see him breathing. Actually,
Can I kill him watching me?
Oh boy. Well, you're a monk. Ooh. I'd say just make a perception check with disadvantage because you're asleep.
Sound. I'm
Um,
asleep, yeah.
Trevor, I'd say just make a. Well, that would be an insight check as you are trying to analyze his body language.
12 plus 5, so 17.
17, Tobiyashi?
14
14.
with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. No, actually, it doesn't wake you up because he is looking at you after you've fallen asleep. And Trevor,
Okay.
as you marvel at the level of concentration that he has, you hear this slight
I have a question. Where is this happening? Like on the.
on deck at night. So if
So-
you
I'm just standing there, like on the front and watching those two, like one staring at the other one, the other one is sleeping.
Yeah, and then you hear Trevor just say softly, with some disappointment in his voice, "Oh." And then he just walked over with the Claire.
So, Valtteri, you see this just as you are about to leave the deck because you still have to sleep at one point.
I wanted to watch for a few minutes till the stars,
Yeah,
but
no,
okay.
that's why I said you still have to sleep at one point. But just as you are about to leave, you see Tobiyashi still in his meditative stance, and you see Trevor with a slightly disappointed look.
I'll look at Trevor, then at Toby, then back at Trevor.
Trevor just goes,
Shouldn't he do that inside? He could catch a cold.
"I'm not sure he meant to."
But shouldn't you also get some rest?
I will at some point, yeah. I'm just trying to stay healthy. I'm staying with the cleric so I don't get sick here. I got
Alright.
I got a backup, but
So, yes, continue.
I mean, I could tomorrow, when I can change my spells again and pray, I could pray for, wait, what was the name again?
Lesser restoration.
No, I don't have that one, but I have detect poison and disease.
All right.
it's up to you if you want to do it or not. Yeah.
So,
See if I show any signs first, but
yeah.
Like the radius thing.
yeah. No.
I can use it on.
Yeah.
Poisonous creatures and diseases within 30 feet of me. I also can identify the poisonous creature, or the disease in each case.
All right. Trevor, I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw and a Wisdom saving throw.
There goes the wizard.
Okay, which one first? Con first?
Yeah.
On.
That is a 11.
So, did you chew the medicine that you were given?
Not yet. I was going to
Not
wait
yet?
to see if anything happened or not. And, once I started showing signs of anything, then I would probably start.
Starts putting it like in his lip, starts chewing on it. Like,
All right. right. So you said you had an 11.
Yeah. For the
Um,
con save.
make the wisdom saving throw now.
Oh, that was even worse. That's a 6.
All right. So you start feeling sick.
Oh my gosh. Genetics. What?
Well, I should probably have made him do the wisdom saving throw first, but yeah, because the
And that was a
wisdom.
natural 1 on the wisdom save. So.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not good on the sea or something.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're starting to be very sick. You don't know why, but the movement of the wave, it only took you like 20 minutes on deck, and immediately you start feeling this sensation in your stomach, this pressure building.
He just starts swaying there. He's like, Claire, can you help me with this just to get me back up underneath? I was fine until I'd seen the water.
She looks at you, so soon?
Yeah, I just came up. I'm not doing good. I might not keep my food down. So.
Well,
Please.
alright. She touches you and utters a few words, a few divine words, and you start feeling better immediately.
Thank you. I don't think I'm going to stay up here, though, because I think it'll probably come back pretty quick. Thank you so much for your help. And he's just going to dart back downstairs.
Okay.
And as he's running away, he says, somebody might want to cover the guy sleeping on deck there.
I'll stay sleeping as long as I can.
As you can. All right. Well,
until morning at least.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, Trevor, you go down, you go back down inside the bow of the ship, and I'm just gonna have you make Constitution saving throw, not the Wisdom one.
Okay. Okay, that's a little better this time. That's a total of 18.
All right. So you don't get sick again.
Okay, I'm just gonna just lay on the floor, just cover my eyes. So maybe if I don't see anything, don't see anything moving, maybe I'll be fine.
It sort of feel at one point that you're on the edge of, but it doesn't get to the point.
Okay.
So, well, the night passes without problem. As you wake up, Tobiyashi, you're still on deck, and you feel as if you'd had fallen asleep on the beach.
Oh.
Meaning it sort of feels crusty.
Okay.
Your clothes are filled with the salt air of the sea, and when you move, it sort of feels like something's crackling on you, as if you'd slept outside of your tent.
Oh gosh.
You feel
I stand up
pasty.
and I try to shake. I try to shake as much as I can off, just wiping myself. When I get up, I'm like, "Oh, we're there yet?"
To whom
Anybody
do you ask
respond
this?
to
You
Just out in the open.
On the deck, you see the
Yes.
Naftan, and you see the priestess that is still there. You see a
I'll
few
walk
deckhand.
I'll walk up to the napkin and say, "How close are we?" Kind of looking tired a little bit.
He looks at you and says, "Did you have a relaxing meditation?"
Yeah, I kind of traveled too deep in there, and
Yes.
darkness happened, and I woke up this morning, I guess.
Yes, we could hear the wood creaking from inside your head.
Oh, okay. So yeah, how much closer are we?
We will be arriving in an hour.
Okay. Um, um, you guys already have breakfast, or
I believe not. I believe every most are still asleep except for those finishing the night shift.
okay? Well, I'll go downstairs and look, just look around at everybody sleeping and wait for food to be served.
All right. Well, during the next hour, everyone is slowly waking up, and those who aren't waking up are being woken up by the crew of the ship as breakfast is getting served. The boat is arriving in a few minutes, but there is a little problem on the dock, so they have to make you wait just a little bit. So you're arriving in a few minutes, but you're going to be stuck on the dock for maybe another hour. The food is bland. It's made to last a long time at sea, so it's nothing very impressive. Hardy, though, you feel full. Trevor, do you eat a full meal or just enough to not get?
Just enough to get by. I was gonna say, is it being served? It's being served below the deck,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
you want to
he'll-
take your ration on deck, yes, it's
No,
below deck.
no.
I will do that.
I'm quite good down here, so yeah, he'll eat about half of it and just sit and
I'll
wait
turn.
and make sure
I'll
it
turn to
stays
Trevor. I'm
down.
gonna be like, "You're gonna finish. You gonna finish that?"
He just extends his hand out and doesn't even say anything. Just there, take it.
All right. I'll eat the rest of Trevor's portion.
I'll take my ration and go up the deck.
All right, very nice, very nice. So, well, it does take a little bit of time, as there seems to be a problem on the docks. But after an hour and a half, an additional hour and a half, they let you leave the dock and they start unloading. The captain does come on deck and tells everyone, we are going to leave tomorrow because of some problem that they've been experiencing in this port city. It's going to take a while to get everything off. So if anyone wants to do anything once everything has been unloaded, be sure to be there tomorrow morning. Otherwise, you're going back to Estrin swimming.
Sounds fun.
As soon as he
Only I was
announces
level
that
7.
it's clear to get off the ship, you just see Trevor just run from under the deck and off the ship.
All right.
I'll follow him, but with more excitement because I've never been on another island before.
All right.
So
I'll calmly walk off the ship behind these two running people.
Alright.
one
I'll
just
go
wants
find-
to get
Like-
off, the other one like
I'll go
jumping
find
like a
the
little kid.
Naftin.
All
I'll
right.
go find the Naftin now that we're in town because he said
I'll
he'd teach
find
me
him
some
now.
moves.
Sure enough, he's there. And how do you ask him?
I kind of walk up to him. I give him, the slight head nod of respect. I'm like,
Mhm.
greetings.
He nods back.
Now that we have reached the town, I was wondering if you had any free time, if you could teach me some of the techniques that you.
Well, my contract is over, so and I have a little bit of time before my next engagement. If you want, we can practice a little.
Okay. Thank you.
So he just takes you a little, maybe 10 or 20 minutes outside of the port city, just to make sure that it's a little bit more calm. Not far enough to be a target for anything that would be looking to make trouble, but just enough to be a little bit more quiet. So he will spend half a day, unless you ask for a little less, to teach you. As he said, he needed to leave.
Alright. No, I'll take the full half day.
Okay. You get to experience these techniques, which are very different from those you've learned. As he said, the techniques are very unique. He uses two short swords as if they were just part of his arms. He uses a kind of technique that takes full advantage of the fact that while one blade may be striking, the other one can be preparing for a strike, or if one is used to defend, the other one can be used to make a sneak attack. Well, not a sneak attack as in the rogue, but just an attack, an unseen attack. And he does seem to be able to at least have the necessary awareness to even counterattack on attacks of opportunity. It does appear at one point that you are about to take advantage of a moment that he chose to disengage, but you, for your effort, you took a hilt to the stomach. And you sort of realize that, okay, well, he can even protect himself when he shouldn't be able to. So there is a level of awareness there. And he does speak as if he could actually understand his blades.
Interesting.
So this is what you learn about the Naftan and the techniques he has. Of course, I can't actually give you a bonus for this.
Yeah. No, I just learn what I can in
Okay.
the time.
You do wield now.
knowledge.
Well, there are things that can happen eventually. You did get half a day of teaching about how to use two swords. Let's say that next time you have a feat, if you wanted to take dual wield, that would now be easily justifiable. You did have a fairly good course that you could keep trying to develop.
Got a couple
I'm
of
gonna
college
say it
credits,
also
you know.
works towards my my second level paladin bonus, where I can pick because I
Yes.
picked defense, which raised my AC by 1, so now
Okay.
I can justify, which is just something all paladins get. But
Yeah, no,
I'm
I know.
gonna say now with my character, it's justifiable that perhaps now while I'm fighting, I learned how to better defend myself, while I was attacking, so my AC got raised slightly.
Yes. Yes, that's easily justifiable. His
All comes
technique
together.
does take advantage of deceiving someone from looking at one part of a blade, or one blade in his case, while the other one is doing something else. And it's easily techniques which you have been able to adapt to your own fighting style.
Okay. I thank him. After we're done, I bow to him and say thank you very much. And then
Okay, so that will last for several hours. Meanwhile, Valtteri, Trevor, and Tobiyashi, what do you do? Your friend has just left with the Naftan to train, and you are pretty sure he's not going to be back for a few hours.
Alright, this first thing we do, once Trevor get on the shore, he'd just find a nice patch of grass and just sit down there for a while, just to make sure his system's calmed down and all that. And he'll probably try and find where that mage tower stuff is getting sent to, so he can go visit that place to see if that bag of gems had a diamond or anything in it.
Okay. Well, you learn fairly fast that the merchandise which was meant for a mage tower is actually meant for the school where you learned magic. So there are people that you actually know living half a day of walk from where you actually are right now. There are even some of your masters living in that tower.
Half a day walk from where we're at. When did the ship say it was leaving tomorrow? In the morning or
In the morning. So yeah, it would be hard for you to make the trip there and back if you want to learn something while you're there. But if you just want to go there, buy something, and come back, if you are willing to accept the point of exhaustion for walking all night to getting back to town, which you probably did at least a few times while you were studying there, you would only take the point of exhaustion. I wouldn't make you make a roll to find your way back, because it's where you learned magic. And you probably came to this port city a fair amount of time, so you know the way pretty well.
how safe would the travel be going by myself? 'Cause
Alright.
Pretty sure no one else probably want to make that kind of trip with me, so I'm just curious
I wouldn't
how
mind. I gotta go
safe do
through
I
this forest.
feel it would be.
Well,
How
do you,
safe do I feel?
do you make
Sorry.
this do you make this obvious to Tobiyashi and Valtteri that you're going there?
I haven't decided for sure yet. I'll let them know that I'm considering it, but this was the
So you
school.
you let them know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tobiyashi just said that he wouldn't mind going with you.
I'd just be searching in the forest.
Just trailing off here and there, picking a few herbs.
Yeah, you'll see me pop out of the bushes and like.
I wanted to like also just go to the woods and look around.
All right. Well, it could easily be a little travel for the three of you. You are going to go through some woods. The island is fairly safe. Trevor, you remember making this trip very often during your studies. You know that it is very safe. The island is the most urban one of the two. Even the forest that you'd be crossing isn't even a real forest. It's more like an underwood or something like this. So it's fairly safe.
Refuge and a reserve or something. The animals are friendly, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, probably animals relatively friendly, and it's probably being maintained by a few mages as sort of a natural reserve for components.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm making drawings of the animals I spot sometimes. Like I'm just walking with my book and doing drawings.
Okay.
Searching for material.
Okay.
So
Well,
Trevor wants to make the
head
way the trip. All right. So Valtteri, Tobiyashi, and Trevor, you make your way to the Mage Tower. Tobiyashi, every time you see a plant you're not sure of, you just disappear and come back a few minutes later. Valtteri, for some reason, every time you see a bird you're not used to, you just stop, start drawing, and start walking again. So, Trevor, it sort of feels like having two 12-year-old children with you.
Just like, hey, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'll be back.
I've never
Just
been
start
in
thinking
another
to
island.
himself, am I actually going to have time to make it back to the ship before it leaves?
I've never been to this island, okay?
Well,
Oh, look at that plant. Look at it.
well, what's
Two
this?
people with ADD following me.
Well, as far as nighttime travel goes, Valtteri is a tiefling. I believe you do have dark vision, so you would
Yes.
be easily able to find your way back.
Yes.
If you do not mind taking the point of exhaustion, because you will walk throughout the night.
I do not mind because I can just sleep on a boat.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Very well. So, you get there. Oh, actually, Tobiashi and Valtteri make perception roll.
Okay.
Perception is 4.
18.
19.
Okay. Well, the trip goes without a problem. However, because you made good perception roll, you do end up getting there later than you thought because you kept noticing new birds, new animals, and new plants that you wanted to
Gosh.
sample.
We'll make it there just in time. Don't worry. I won't be looking on my way back.
So Trevor, despite your efforts to keep them centered on what you wanted to do, you do notice that you are getting a bit late for the itinerary that you were planning on having, and instead of arriving a little before sunset, you actually notice that the sun has set when you arrive.
Oh gosh.
And I just look at Toby actually. It's like, don't you monks have like focus on stuff, you know?
Well, yeah, I was focusing on these new plants.
Yeah.
So Tobiashi, were
and he
you?
just face palms. And just,
We'll make it back in time. Don't worry. If
I
Everything
go up
happens
to
for-
Trevor and like go through my page like, look, all these animals I've found and so.
and he just shakes his head. He peeks through his fingers, and then he just shakes his head with his hand still in his face.
I'm just really looking really happily with a little bit of glistening in my eyes.
And actually, as Valtteri is jumping from plants to plant, Trevor, you look in front of you and you see Tao looking at Valtteri and then slowly turning his head toward you.
I don't know, man. I'm still figuring it out myself.
Ow.
She likes to draw, you know. I do a little painting, you know, but
So, Tobiashi, were you
she
just
likes it.
Tobiashi,
I'm
were
just
you
waiting there
just
now.
cataloging, or were you actually also picking things?
I was picking the ones that look like they'll help with healing.
All right. Well, when you will be trying to make something with your herbalist kits, you will know the value of what you found.
Okay.
You do believe that you found herbs that would help you. You're not sure just how useful they would be, because while vegetation in each island is fairly similar, there are differences, and some plants that's funny. On my island, the fruits of this plant are a bit more plump. That's weird. Oh.
I don't want to go to school. Sorry.
How do you think I feel?
At least you get an extra hour or so.
Yeah.
True, still.
So, you get to the Mage Tower at a late hour, but having studied there, you know what to do to get inside, even though the main entrance is closed. Because it's not the first time that you actually are late from getting back to a foraging expedition. It does happen, so wizards are told what to do. So, do you get everyone in, or do you just get yourself in?
I'll bring them in with me. I'm like, wonder if they changed the passphrase to the arcane lock and just whisper a little thing in there, and I guess the door opens and we'll come all in. Nope, still works. Good.
Magic.
It still works. It's not the main entrance, it's more of a back entrance, but it still works. It opens, And inside you see familiar, but still very impressive, Golem watching the entrance. He's not moving.
Golem?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I look at it with big eyes and then
But I
enjoying
recognize him, though. I know him. Does he have a
Yes.
name or anything? Okay.
It is a mud golem. Not a name exactly given by the mages, but the students.
Yeah, I'm sure we
Damn.
gave him a nickname.
Yeah, I don't know. Students, because they don't like getting in and finding themselves in front of that towering figure, call him the creepy shadow of the night.
All right. So,
Like-
do I know to like avoid him or something, or is it okay
you
just
know
to walk
he-
by and say, "Hey, we're just passing through"?
You know he's just there to make sure that unwanted people don't get in. So you know what to say so that he won't attack your two friends.
Okay. All right. I'll pass that on. Just,
Boom.
hey.
He
Hey,
doesn't-
they're with me. Say the passphrase or whatever to
I bow.
power him down. Let us through.
He doesn't move, which you know is a good thing.
we're good. Yeah. He's safe. Just stay with me.
Look at him real quick. You're off. No.
It is a golem. It remains a very imposing construct.
Jeez.
So, at the time, audience, they got to the school and you got to finish your training. So the sun is starting to set. The Naftan compliments you for what you did. Although you are missing a fair amount of training, you have potential. That is his official evaluation.
Good. That potential's great.
Notes in the margin.
Potential.
Great potential.
Potent. Very potent.
So, is there anything else you would like to know before I leave?
I think. Where would you go if you wanted? If I wanted to continue my training as a blade master, where would I best? What would be the best place to continue my training? Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Blade Masters are a rare occurrence, but usually you will be able to find them where there are cultures very centered on martial prowess. So on Estrin, you would probably be able to find someone who knows, or at least knows where you can look to find a Blade Master in the Dragonborn colony in the mountains. I doubt you will find my clan, but if you ever find them, you could always try and ask. Just mention my name and they will probably be able to at least help you in some way.
And what was your name again? My character would probably know that. I don't know that.
Well, actually, you never asked, but since you were training for half a day, the subject probably came up at least once. His name is Tesul.
Okay. How do you spell that?
That would be T, I think it's comma in English, Sool.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the comma makes it so that you pronounce the T separate from the rest of the world. So this is why it does Tsul instead of Tsul.
Oh,
Okay.
Isul.
Other than those two options, sometimes humans do find ways to have extremely martially inclined masters, and you might find someone, but you would probably have to look in more remote areas. I would doubt very much that a blade master would find itself studying his art in a large city. I would say try and find monasteries. You sometimes see blade masters studying among monks.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Ask Tobiyashi about that.
Blades. What are you talking about, blades? They know no blades.
No, I mean like ask if you've seen it, if you know anything.
Yeah.
My mind are the
No, I've seen you
blades of
fight.
my
I know you're
weapon.
no blade master.
Soon. You will regret those words.
My blades
Like it
are
too.
is my mind.
Well, actually, in the last fight, you did go down, so.
See, once I'm able to do 4 hits in my Furia blows, you'll see.
Fair. Will we spar together?
Yes, definitely.
Alright.
Try and find days where you believe there won't be any combat.
Yes. No, just right in the middle of combat, I'm like, I don't like how you look.
Oh, that would be an interesting end of fight.
Yeah.
Trying to dodge the enemy and hit him.
I mean, all I'm saying is one of my spells literally compelled a duel. So
Oh. Wow. Alright.
I can compel people to duel me. So
Well then.
this can happen.
Looks like you might not have a choice.
Yeah.
And suddenly the laughs become a nervous laugh.
Not
Alright,
so soon.
so-
Wait, let me level up now.
So, Valtteri, Tobiyashi, and Trevor, you find yourself in the Mage Tower. For Tobiyashi and Valtteri, this is a new experience. For Trevor, it is almost your second home.
Just looking at all the gold like
So, Trevor, you basically are the guide here.
Yeah.
I'll just start walking.
For
Okay.
Valtteri, it is a very unnatural setting. You've never found yourself in a structure that is solely made of stone and magic enchantment. So
I
this
do
is very
feel-
weird for you.
I do feel uncomfortable in here, yeah.
For Tobiyashi, you are used to being in stone structure, but not in structure that are as stuffy as a small mage tower.
okay.
You are used
So I'll go-
to having large halls and corridors.
Okay.
Door,
I'll go
you
up
know,
to
locked
Trevor.
doors, no locks on them and stuff.
Yeah. Just, like, slide it over. I'll
Picture
go to
frame
Trevor,
looking at you walk.
and I'll be like, so this is basically a magic monastery. Am I correct?
Of sorts, yeah. This is where you start to learn magic. Yeah. And
Interesting.
get you the basics, you know. Get you your
Yeah.
bachelor's degree.
You're back. I got some
Associate,
crazy
more like
degree.
more like associate's degree, I think.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's that's a pretty nice school. There's a couple of them that were more hard asses than others, but generally a decent place.
I'll have to show you around my monastery one day.
Okay. So I can check it out. Um, and I guess I will go to where I would know those gems might have wound up, like storage, I'm sure there's somebody controlling all that,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
just,
you walk.
just find, I'm sorry. Yeah, just find
Okay.
someone and ask where did all of the, I came with the shipment that you guys just received today, just, curious to.
Well,
where the
you've
gem-
studied there for several years, so you
Yeah.
are familiar with the surrounding and what you might actually find. So you are fairly sure about where you have to go to get to such merchandise. You find your way inside of the corridors, a right and a left. A secret word spoken to what looks like a potted plant, which actually opens a door for you.
Oh.
And you enter
Yeah.
a room where there is a tall black cat sitting on a counter, which you know is the familiar of the person who actually takes care of the place, which means he's probably asleep behind the door, and the cat is there in case a student needs something as an emergency.
Okay. Do I know the familiar's name and
I go to pet the cat.
I'll be like, but it's probably too late by then,
Well, it depends on how you're going to react. As you get
Just go.
to 2 steps of the cat, you see his ears suddenly drop in that plane-like shape, and the cat starts to.
And I'll say he's magical. He's familiar, like Tao here. So be careful.
Okay.
I'll just start drawing it. But
I'll just
like
back up a little
behind,
bit
like,
and be like,
I'm standing behind Trevor looking over his shoulder and then going back and drawing and then looking back.
It's
Felter
a
is
black
probably
cat.
a little.
It's a black cat, very tall, sort of like the Egyptian depiction of cats. Very tall, very slender. His eyes are almost golden yellow.
Beautiful cat.
And among the students, you have all come to call him Night Scratch.
wow,
Light scratch, white
Night
scratch. I guess.
Scratch.
Light.
white scratch.
As in, whenever someone gets too close to him during the night, they find himself with a bad scratch.
We call him
Gotcha.
a-
Light scratch. I don't know if you can help me yourself, or if you need to wake. I don't know his name, but yeah, if you need to wake him to help me. But we had the shipment come today, and there was some gems that were coming here, and I was looking to maybe acquire a small diamond if possible. So we might need his assistance with that.
That's where cat talks.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
The cat
I mean,
looks at you, he yawns, but right after he's done yawning, and you do see how wide his mouth actually is when he yawns, it is almost unnatural. Not unnatural, but almost. You do feel like, oh, well, that could hurt. But as soon as he finishes yawning, he turns around and pushes the door behind him, enters the room. You hear just a little shuffling of cloth behind the door, and then you hear, why? What? Oh.
Hi.
And you hear someone getting closer, and apparently he stubbed his toes on something inside, because you hear the sound of something made out of wood scrape on the floor, and you hear a human voice saying, "God, God help me." He peeks his head to the door, and you see not elderly wizard, but still he's starting to have gray in his hair. And he looks out and says, "Why are... Oh, Mr. Trevor. And
Yes.
why are you back here?"
We helped secure some lost merchandise. Some of it came here, and before I even start, apologies for being so late. I had certain, and he looks behind him, distractions on the way here that slowed my progress, or I would have been much earlier. So apologies for waiting.
bow.
But
Yes, I remember. And I'm sure you do remember that youth sometimes comes with lack of discipline.
yes. Yeah, I'm trying to keep them on task here, because we do have to be back by in the morning to continue on our journey to the main island, Esther. But part of the shipment here was a bag of gems I knew. How we're so far ahead, then I don't know, but I've actually already learned a couple of new spells, and one of my components I need a small diamond for, so I was curious if one of those happened to find its way here and perhaps purchase it, maybe with an alumni discount.
So he looks at you and yawns just a little bit. We haven't had time to unpack what came earlier because they just arrived before sunset, so we just put everything in storage and we were planning on looking at it all in the morning. But if you are planning on purchasing a diamond...
Yep, just a small one. Yeah.
How much did you say it had to be worth?
Worth 50. I was hoping for maybe a small alumni discount.
Yes, I have heard. Well,
He got his tablet.
you are aware
His
that...
abacus.
You are aware that we only give free material to students. And most of it has to be given back when they leave.
Yes.
But you did study here, you did show promise, and your mentor does keep sending us letters saying that he sponsors us so often, and he never sent us a student that wasn't worth it. Make a persuasion roll.
You knock him out. No, just saying.
18 plus 4, so 22.
Oh, goodness. Alright, so...
Yeah. Now the question is, does he even have one? Make all this trip for nothing.
So, no, just a gemstone, you know.
It's a rock. Well, alright.
Piled rock. It's a bag of coal.
It'll eventually turn into a diamond. You put enough pressure on it.
Yeah.
Have audience sit on it during the ride there.
Alright, so, well, actually, at one point you will be able to turn coal into gold. But this is not for right now.
Yep. Transmutation wizard, yeah. So.
Well, he goes back inside, rummage through everything, and he comes back with a diamond in his hand. He says, well, this is a diamond we can't really use much because it's been damaged in an unfortunate mixing of elements. And you remember what it means when he says that. It was involved in a explosion during a transmutation class
Yes.
by a student that didn't wait for him to give the whole explanation. He says, well, we can't use it anymore, but I believe it is still worth enough for you to use it.
Okay.
I will ask 30 gold of you.
If only.
And I will warn you that it is a damaged gem. Don't use it to stop something that shouldn't be used to stop. You will break it if you try to stop something with it.
Huh. Never even thought of it that way.
What it means is it's going to resist if you fall, if you drop it, but not if you have it in your hand and you take a fireball while you're casting.
Gotcha. It's all right. I got a plan for it anyway to kind of help protect it. So, but I only have 32 on me. Can you do a little better, perhaps?
I'm already giving you 2/5 of the full price as an account. It's almost 50%. You're not gonna get better in town, I can assure you.
Oh, I know. It's just you, of all people, know the life of a wizard. I've
You already got 32 gold, so
yet,
geez.
yet to encounter any scrolls yet, but you know the cost involved in all this. So. But all right, I'll get
Another persuasion?
30 gold. I was hoping he'd allow me another one, but I already rolled a 22 on the first one there, so.
That's why he gave you such a high discount.
Yeah. I was hoping for another one, but yeah, I figured that's probably what I got for the 22 anyway, so yeah, I'll take it. Give him the 32
I'll become
gold.
a student just to get the diamond.
So you get a damaged diamond, still worth 50 gold.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Alright, let's sell it and buy a better diamond.
You think that the gem, if it wasn't broken, would probably be worth something like 100 gold.
Well, he knows what he specialized in, so he's thinking, maybe I could repair it down the road. Possible, but yep, he'll take that, put it away, and tell him thank you very much. And
All right.
and do you know if there's anyone available to maybe expedite our travel back to the city, so maybe we won't be distracted again?
Are you asking for teleportation?
Yes, I know there's a circle here. I don't know if there's one back in the city or not.
You are aware of the price of the material behind teleportation.
I was hoping for a donation, but yeah, that's fine. I understand.
Well, alright. But remember that you might regret this one day. I can wake up someone to teleport you. And you know who it is. And in your mind, you actually know who he's referring to. And it is a very harsh and not necessarily pleasant teacher. You will owe him a favor at his request.
All right. Well, I'll take my out, wake him up. Let's see. Because I do not want to miss this ship, and I'm afraid at the rate we got here, we might not make it back in time.
Alright, so since the stream is supposed to be ending, well, actually supposed to have ended, I'm going to expedite this just a little bit and say he does wake him up, and he's not too pleased about being woken up during the night, and he does grin when your other teachers say this. And he does say, "Oh, really? Oh, this is an interesting bargain."
And Trevor just...
He goes to a desk in his room, rummages to it a little, takes out a little stone with a rune on it, and he hands it to you, Trevor.
I think I know what this is, but do I recognize it?
Well,
I mean, out of character, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. But...
Well, actually, what he's just given you is a type of beacon, and he says, if it ever lights up, you need to come.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Whatever you're doing, and whatever objection you might have to my request, remember, you owe it to me.
Maybe we should just pay them to teleport us.
The BBEG?
It's 50 gold in chalk.
In chalk?
Yes. I'm sure he would know that, even though he doesn't know the spell. I'm sure he would. Yeah. I'm sure he's taken a teleportation circle or two at times. You know.
I'm going.
Just to be familiar with it.
I'm going from a person. I have 22 gold.
I have 8. You guys want 8?
Okay, I will accept this deal. And
He grins again when you say this.
Hopefully I won't be dead by the time this goes off. Or maybe hopefully I will. Or maybe hopefully I will be dead by the time this goes off.
Hopefully.
He grins again when you accept and take the rune, and you actually feel an energy pulse coming from the rune, and, well, enter you. I'm pretty sure you have an idea what might have happened right now. You've been magically bound. Alright, well, we're going to do this then. Oh, I am looking forward to this day.
Just please draw the circle.
You go inside the cupboard and take everything he needs.
Just a big chunk of chalk. Just.
And
Just some expensive magic chalk.
And he says, where exactly do you want to be? Remember, if I've already been there, there's less of a chance that the teleportation will kill you.
Oh,
Wait, what?
I did not sign up for this.
Wait.
At this level, a mishap will kill you.
Well, I ask you two questions. One, have you been to Estrid at all?
Yes.
What? We're just gonna disappear.
But what is with Odin's?
I'll meet you guys there. Don't worry about it.
We don't need the ship.
Where at in Estrid? Have you heard of a place called the Garden there?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's just go straight to Estrid. If that's okay with you two.
If I die, I'm going to kill you. But otherwise, I'll be fine.
Well, if you're dead, I'm dead too. So.
Wait, out of character, is my mystical friend with me?
He didn't get inside the tower. He's not
And
on your
he's-
shoulder, but you can feel her. She
Can I
doesn't.
make sure that she's on my shoulder?
You just kind of just reach up there for nothing.
I'm just like, what?
How's that on your shoulder?
I think you're hitting the wrong animal.
Can I make like a quick hand sign to show her that she should get on my shoulder?
Little hand
well,
behind the back.
Yes,
And, come on.
of course you can. So, Trevor, just to make sure that you remember this before killing someone, if you're teleporting to a permanent circle or
Yeah.
a place where there is an object where the mage is familiar with,
Yeah.
it's going to be right on target. Everything else can go
Yeah, there's a
horribly
slight
wrong.
chance. Yeah.
And at your level, a mishap will kill the
Yeah,
party.
would kill everybody. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So we should better just teleport back to the ship.
Well, we'll discuss that. Is
Okay.
there a teleportation circle in Estrid that you know of?
There is one.
Okay.
Where is it located there?
Like from behind, like
Not that we are just letting him prison there, that is what I mean.
Yeah.
No, it is
it's a stone
a
cube.
circle inside another school. On the first
How close
the
is
first
that
kingdom
to the
you
city?
would encounter.
Okay. On the first kingdom.
And how close is that to the port city there?
A few days walk once you get to Estrin.
Well, do that and get there about the same time.
Meet him
it
at-
should be.
Shit.
Might be able to. I have a couple of days to kill there. We should be able to make that trip. And
Let's do it.
yes, okay, sounds like a plan.
Shouldn't we leave a note to Odin's or anything? A message?
Does anyone have message?
Now, message wouldn't work because you have to be like in line of sight there, or at least point their direction.
Oh yeah.
You need more like sending there.
I meant like, could we like send a letter out, but
Yeah, that wouldn't make it in time either.
All right, so I'm going to ask you: are you really doing this seriously?
I don't
Yes or no?
know.
I go in.
down
I'm
for
ready
it.
for it. Let's do it, Trevor.
Okay. So, if
Hesitate.
you really
Oh,
are
wait.
going to do this,
I sit and meditate on the circle.
We all die.
I'm
Well,
going.
God.
it's a permanent circle that he knows of, so it's on target. So there's no chance of a mishap on that.
But you
It's
will
like-
be leaving a party member behind.
Yes, that is
He'll be on the boat. He'll be on the boat. I need to. Okay.
Build
How
the
about?
ship, but I got a feeling there might be an encounter in there too. So I don't know.
I'll
But
catch up.
yeah, hey,
I'll catch
he's
up in 4 days. I'll
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah. What could happen in 4
Tre-
days?
Yep, Trevor sees this as his safest route, so
I think
Alright.
I fit your character.
he had
I
a
think I
bad
fit your
experience
character
just
well.
in a
Actually-
day on the ship, and now he's got 4 more ahead of him. So yeah, he's going now. If everybody else wants to walk back, that's up to them.
You know what?
Alright, well, you did pay this favor, so
Yep.
I walk back. I get all ready for it, and then right when I'm about to walk in there, I turn around and walk to the door.
so you see Tobiyashi leave the door. Leave the place.
Sorry, can't do this. Too much
Are you
risk.
actually leaving?
Yes, I am. I'm going back to the boat.
Okay, Valtteri, what
I'm
do you
gonna
do?
start running, dashing. Just
Is my friend not on my shoulder?
You're confident she's in the room, but not on your shoulder.
Can I make sure now that she's on my shoulder?
Alright. Yes, you can. So you are going with Trevor.
Yes,
Alright.
I am dashing back to Odeon.
but I want to
Alright.
make
Boy,
sure that I
Tobiyashi.
don't leave
Oh
my
yeah,
my
I'm
friend
coming
behind.
back for you, man.
Is she
Let's be
now on
scared
my
of that
shoulder?
magic circle, you know.
Or do I have
Haven't
like
seen
to
that
put
much
a
magic.
cherry
Don't
on my
trust it,
shoulder
Emma.
so she'll go on my shoulder?
Well, you can always ask her to reveal herself.
Not in a place where I don't know the people and feel uncomfortable.
In a mage tower surrounded by magic. What can go wrong? Alright, well, you can ask her to be there. You're going to have to do this. You can't actually send this message to her telepathically. You're going
I
to
know.
have to say it out loud.
Can I make like a hand sign?
Come on.
On my
Alright.
shoulder now.
Alright, so you.
Sleight of hand check.
You want to make this discreetly?
Yeah.
Alright, little, like Trevor said,
Quick.
sleight of hand check.
Okay.
And
wait.
then I'm also rolling to know if she figures out what you're trying to say.
Great. I have
She's
plus...
just looking at you like,
What?
You're already
Only
left.
made it to second level, and we're already splitting the party. Yeah, how bad could this
8.
get?
18.
I'm in a forest
Sorry?
by myself.
18.
18? Alright, well, yeah. You feel her get on your shoulder.
Okay.
So, Valtteri and Trevor accept the deal, while Tobiyashi runs back to town to warn audience that they're going to have to do this.
Yes,
On
on
the-
dash.
Alright, well, this is going to be interesting for the next time, because we're going to end this for tonight, right now,
Okay.
with Trevor accepting the deal, the spell
Hey.
being cast, and
Yep.
this
About
mage.
that time that the last line's drawn, he'll tell Valtteri, it's only good for 6 people, and you only have 6 seconds. So run in, and it's going to feel a little weird.
And the last thing you see is this wizard grinning at you in a way that doesn't make you feel very good.
I'm running in complete darkness bush.
Oh yes, this is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have dark
He
vision.
doesn't have dark vision.
Oh shit!
He's just
I'll
doing
make it
his
there.
best to follow
This
the
long as
road.
I
might
get
be
to
a
the water,
really
I'll be
short
fine.
campaign here. Might be down 2 party members by the time the boat makes it
I'm
to
just
shore.
gonna be on the boat. It's just gonna turn into the travels of audience, just like so everyone else is gone.
He's just like,
Yeah.
Alright.
he's like, I wonder where my party went.
I'm on a boat.
Whatever happened to Trevor?
Well, at least if Toby makes it back, he can at least explain where we went.
Well, if he
Yeah.
even reaches the boat in time.
Yeah.
Like start running
Well,
up the
I've only known
mountain.
you guys- I've only known you guys like 2 days. I'll just be like, oh, those were some cool people I met that one time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, didn't get a
Alright,
chance to
well.
get close or anything. So he's like, yeah, whatever. You win some, you lose some.
This is going to be interesting. That's not something I had anticipated.
Neither of us did.
Hector does
Nope.
not best magic.
But
level.
I was able to get something very interesting out of this. A
Yeah.
free favor for a mage.
Yep.
Oh, this can go
And-
bad. Like when
And
we
Trevor
don't
got a
remember.
safe passage to the city where he doesn't have to deal with the boat again, so he's happy.
I
I'm
mean-
staying true to character. He would, he's right now. He's
I
not
mean, we
close
could
to anybody.
actually
He's looking out for himself.
use the time while we wait for the other two to arrive to find out where the garden might be located.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Might have a lot of answers and stuff before he gets there. Yeah. He just
Just your microphone is way too far.
No.
Okay, it's hard.
I
to
said,
hear.
I said, if me and Toby do arrive,
yeah.
still up
we
in
just
the
go
air.
on a whole different adventure. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all of this is slightly time sensitive, so depending on when you leave, when you get back, and what happens, who knows? But for sure, there is a good chance that next session we're going to have to handle two parties.
Yeah.
Oh boy. What can happen to two squishy ones in one party?
Well, at least one of us has healing spells. And,
I also have healing.
I will say I'm
well, that's
far
what I was
more
talking about you,
confident-
because I sure as hell don't.
I'm far more confident in me and Tobiashi's combat ability.
oh
Yes.
no!
You too, to
Yes.
be honest.
I think we put out the most damage. Oh, well, no, other than Trevor. Trevor over
I mean,
there.
I cannot transform myself, so I
Oh yeah.
can
Alright.
get stronger.
And one of my two spells, I got Mage Armor now too, so
That's
that'll
fair.
help. So.
All right,
I
so
will say,
for,
though,
for those
yeah.
watching, I'm going to end the stream now. For those of us playing with me, well, you don't have to go home right now, but I have to end the stream.
yeah.
Thanks, guys, for
I wanted
watching.
to sit here and listen
Thank
to our
you, guys.
jibber jabber, about what might
Maybe.
happen.
When you watch this
Soon
on
enough.
YouTube, press the like button. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you watch on Twitch, please follow us.
And be forgiving of the players who could have just killed the party. We'll know
Yes.
next time.
Yeah. Yep.
Bye.
First